Hi everyone, my name is Justine Leslie and this is the General Collective Consciousness reading for February 13th, 2023. It's for the week. This is the weekly. Let's jump right into it, guys, because we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to just explain really quick what this reading is about. This is, like I said, the weekly reading. This is for the collective. Collective means the general population. The majority of us, essentially, as we are all connected through the collective consciousness. So it is general right now. As I expand this YouTube channel, I am going to break them down, probably by life path number. And of course, I'd give you the calculations of how to figure out what your life path number is. But for right now, we're just doing one for the week, and we're doing the collective 9-card spread. The first row here is our general type energy, what to look out for, what spirit wants us to know. Middle is going to be more towards our relationships, and then the bottom are going to be our career, life purpose, passion projects, that kind of thing. So let's just begin, okay? So I'm going to pull them over 3 at a time and read by row. Okay, so let's see. Here. Beautiful cards here, guys. Cool. Okay, awesome. All right, I love this milk and honey card. Okay, and I like how it's in the last slot here. Oh, this tells a really great story. Okay, so first of all, let's look at regeneration. Regeneration is always, the first thing that actually comes to my mind is, I don't know if it's because I've been chronically ill for so long or what, but regenerating nerves, regenerating your body, like rejuvenation, restarting, rebirth. Okay, so that's really wonderful that we actually have that as the first card. So Spirit is saying this week is really about reinventing yourself. Anything that has to do with rebirth, regeneration, anything of feeling different and feeling this newness type energy. And to be completely honest with you, I haven't necessarily felt this energy in a really long time for us, which is great. I've personally been seeing 555 a lot, which is linked to massive change. The numbers 222 are also linked to change, but in the way of 555 vibration tends to be a little bit more chaotic. The 222 tends to be a little bit more change in the way of balance, which is great. And so this could be either or. I don't feel like it's like a massive change that's kind of like throwing you, for a loop and changing your whole life, like that kind of thing. But I definitely do feel new energy kind of coming in. The next card says feel loved and comforted. So I definitely do feel like this is a week to nurture yourself. Definitely a lot of messages coming through about staying grounded, being grounded, doing the things that really make you feel connected, make you feel grounded, make you feel loved. So yeah, it definitely could be self-care for sure. But as you're going through these massive changes, it's saying basically just like take care of yourself and just make sure that your feet are on the ground as because sometimes when we have these massive changes going on, it's, and again, this doesn't feel super massive, but let's just say these, when anything is changing or we're starting anew or feeling this new energy kind of coming through, I think sometimes when we're really sensitive, it could be really overwhelming. I know, because I'm a sensitive person as well. So it's kind of like Spirit saying, like, do the things that make you feel grounded, make you feel that you're planted and that your feet are on the ground. So you're not kind of going all over the place, right? While these changes are happening, and you have a clear head, you can use discernment. Like things are, your feet need to be planted firmly in the ground for you to be able to kind of handle, the energy of the week, basically is what I'm trying to say. And then why I feel like it's actually in the more positive direction is the milk and honey card, because that card is really, it's about, and I think we actually had it somewhere in maybe the last couple of weeks, we had it somewhere in the reading, but basically it's about saying like the sweet life. And as you notice, the rainbow, and I said this last time, the rainbow is always about, seeing things through to the other side if things have been rocky. So what I see here, if we're looking at it as a storytelling perspective, is that towards the end of the week, it's going to be positive. So anything that's kind of happening or throwing you for a loop during the week, as long as you stay grounded and have your feet in the soil and you have your head on your shoulders and you're down. Like another good way to say this is like down to earth, okay? So I usually don't bring that up in my readings too much, but it's saying like be down to earth, use your discernment, not necessarily your intuition, but it's kind of like saying like use your logic, make sure you are grounded in anything that kind of comes up, right? And so not necessarily acting like from emotions, but obviously acting from a more clear-headed space, right? But if you're able to do that, looks like a good week, and looks like there's, rainbow is always about a pot of gold at the end of it. So that's what it kind of feels like for you, okay? Awesome. Let's move on to our relationships. Okay. Okay, so I feel like this is a week of, how do I say this? So we have elder move beyond ancestral patterns. This tells me that there is some healing work, and this is the deep kind of healing work. This isn't just like surface level type stuff. This is really kind of like the deep stuff. Chop wood is always about working hard, right? So this is telling me, putting it next to each other here, that you're going to be doing the hard work when it comes to any triggers that you have, generational trauma, ancestral patterns that you need to break, and that kind of thing. So I definitely do feel like this week is going to be filled with different triggers that really align with what's kind of coming up here. So definitely be prepared for that. It's not, I don't like labeling things like good or bad. Like sometimes I use more like positive or negative, but I don't feel like it's like either, because this is really helpful in accelerating towards what you truly desire as far as a relationship goes, meaning that you have to do, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I renamed everything, my TikTok, my Instagram, my YouTube channel. I renamed it Soul Work with Justine, because this is what this is about. It's about the work. It's not about, reading cards is great, getting guidance from the universe is great. Like all of those things are super positive, and I love what I do with this. However, this is really more so about doing the soul work and doing the hard stuff, because that's how things change, right? We look back at that regeneration card. Things don't change because we receive guidance, because once we receive the guidance, then we actually have to put things into action, right? And so that's where the change actually happens. So this is, because I could pull up this card any day, in whether I'm doing the collective or with a private client, breaking their ancestral bad patterns, looking at their generational trauma. That's the work, that's the meat and bones of it. And so I feel like it's definitely going to be triggered this week. It's possible that you might find, or have, I should say, more of a awareness around these patterns and things like that, but something is just telling me that for most of you guys, it's going to be something you already know about, that you've been really trying to heal for a really long time, but you're going to be triggered again. But really going hard with it is like the best way I can kind of say it, because chop wood is really always about doing the hard work, doing the things that you have to do to get to where you need to go for the big thing. Like this is the big picture. This is like the smaller details, what you have to do every day. And then the other thing too here is that we have Shaylin Master, be graceful in movement and action. This one is about going slow, okay? So something tells me it's not just something that we're going to be dealing with all week. Something tells me we're going into a period or a transit or a cycle of really trying to heal this once and for all. So this week is really going to be kind of the start of it, is the best way I can kind of say it. So we definitely have many weeks to come where we're really trying to figure this out and really try to heal this, at least to a level where we can be in a healthy relationship. Now, as far as it actually affecting our relationships this week, I feel like it's possible, but it feels more so like personal work. So I definitely do feel like it is us taking accountability on our end about how we can begin to heal this. And it doesn't, don't take it as, maybe some of you will have, a lot of conflicts this week, or that's stemming from some of these patterns and things like that. But for the most part, I feel like it's going to be more personal and not necessarily in relationship. So this is more like in relationship to self, but it affects all the relationships that you have. So hope that makes sense for you. All right, let's look at career. What's going on with us work-wise? This could be career, passion project, entrepreneurship, okay? Okay, we have flexible, druid, hold the space, round and round. Okay, so I definitely do feel like there is... All right, so flexible is being flexible, being adaptable. Druid, hold the space, taking a pause, that kind of thing, round and round, continuing to do the same thing with the same result. So I have to be honest, guys, I definitely do feel like there's going to be a lot of shifting happening. I'm not going to lie. I feel like maybe some of us are going to be laid off, or even by our own choice, leaving jobs or leaving projects, or this might actually be more connected so with the regeneration there, where we're doing something new, because it's kind of all over the place, but all of these, they're not necessarily connected. The only way that these three cards are connected, where it's like things aren't, things aren't smooth and things aren't in flow, and there's just a lot of change, right? Because this first card here, this flexible card, is asking us to be flexible and adaptable. The druid is saying, okay, it's okay to take a pause. So that could be us, again, leaving the jobs, getting laid off, quitting, whatever it actually is, and taking time off, it could mean a vacation, but for me, it feels a little bit more, again, like ending to beginning, because especially too, when you're going back to the regeneration card, and round and round is kind of like doing the same thing over and over and over again. But we're so fed up that we want to make the change. Okay, so the theme here is change. Okay, so this is definitely a week of changing something. I could even see us changing roles at jobs. Okay, I've done that a couple of times where I've demoted myself at a job because it doesn't feel good of what I'm doing, or it's not aligning with me, or something like that. You could fire clients. You could be pivoting to a different area of business, totally, so many things. If you're a freelancer, which I've done before too, you could be ending a project this week or something like that. But I definitely do feel like this overall, like it's not, again, I don't like describing things as bad or good, but to be very honest, it doesn't feel like it is bad, quote unquote bad, quote unquote negative, I guess I could say. Because it feels like you're fed up and you're kind of over it anyway. So it's like a welcomed ending in that way. It's almost like you're so fed up, you're flexible to kind of do, something else, right? Like, so maybe you have had a full-time job for a really long time and you're like, okay, I'm so fed up, I want to freelance instead, okay? So I definitely do feel like your number one tool this week to work with the energy is just being adaptable and flexible as you possibly can. Resting would not be a bad idea, okay? Again, some of us, I feel like we're going to be let go or quit or something like that. Rest, if that's the case. I totally understand the money aspect, but I have to say, I feel like everything always works itself out with that, but I also understand people have kids to feed and things like that. Do what feels good to you. Use your discernment. And then also, if you're one of the people out there that really does feel like you're going round and round, on a merry-go-round and not being able to get off, and you're fed up, because I definitely feel the most angry, annoyed, resentful type energy coming from this card. And so I definitely do feel a change for you guys finally that's actually potentially coming to fruition this week, where you guys kind of decide to, at least get one foot off of the merry-go-round. Just be careful, because that seems like a disaster, right? if you only put one foot off of the merry-go-round. So just be careful. Just be careful. That's the best way I can kind of say it. But in some way, shape, or form, maybe you slow it down or something like that, right? That's the best metaphor I can give. Guys, I never said I was great at metaphors, okay? So all in all, makes sense, wraps us up right back to the first one, regeneration. So definitely some change and some new energy coming in this week. So it's not a boring week, that's for sure. Want to point out the milk and honey though, sweet, sweet, sweet ending to the week. So there's really not too much to worry about, but it's not going to be, you know, a lighter type week, especially with all this heavy energy kind of coming up here in the middle here with our ancestral patterns and generational trauma. So sending lots of love to everybody. If you guys enjoyed this reading, you know, I always want to, like and subscribe. I'm jumping all over the place. But also, I'd love to hear if this resonates with you, so put in the comments below. I know the week hasn't necessarily begun yet, but please come back to this video and make some comments and see, you know, and let me know like how these things kind of manifested for you. I love stuff like that. It's my favorite. Stuff like this is amazing, but you know, and I'll even make my own comments as well. But I hope you guys subscribe for content more like this. Again, I'm going to do the weeklies. I'm going to do the monthlies as well. And I hope to see you back here again, guys. Have a great week.